SoFi CEO Anthony Noto recently said that he does not see why SoFi can't become a trillion-dollar company one day. This got a lot of retail investors excited and got them to buy into this company now in hopes that it will one day grow to that valuation. A lot of people still don't fully understand what SoFi does, though. In this video, we're going to break down each of their different revenue streams and what they actually sell. If you find this kind of content helpful or interesting, please consider subscribing and also leave a comment for what company you want me to talk about next. So most people know SoFi as a student loan refinancing platform. And while that is how they started and it's still a big part of their business, they have grown way beyond that. So now they kind of have three different segments of their business and different products within each of those segments. So the three segments we're going to look at are lending, financial services, and their technology platform. So let's just dive into it and see exactly what products they offer. So the first thing I want to look at is banking. This is pretty much a traditional checking and high yield savings accounts. This allows people to open up accounts, deposit money as a bank. This is good, obviously, for SoFi because the more cash they have deposited, the more cash that SoFi can use as a funding source rather than relying on, outside capital markets. This is also the entrance to SoFi. So people will come in, open a checking account, but then from there, SoFi is going to try to upsell them on other products and keep them in their ecosystem. So I'm going to move on quick. Everyone knows what a bank, checking account is. The next product they offer is personal loans. SoFi targets consumers for debt consolidation, home improvement, travel, weddings, any event like that you would need a personal loan for. These products can be very profitable for SoFi, but there is a risk here if they start giving out personal loans to people with bad credit that won't pay them back. That could be a risk that SoFi takes on. But they do make sure they're giving these to qualified borrowers. So they give the loans, earn interest off them, and then, any fees from like late fees or anything like that, they make money off that. They also can sell these loans to other companies and earn that quick revenue right then. The next product I want to look at is student loan refinancing. Again, this is how SoFi started. It's their bread and butter. Their goal was to refinance student debt for high-income earners in the Bay Area. Again, there's not a whole lot to talk about of this product. When the federal rate comes down, SoFi is able to offer lower rates on this, and it brings business in. If rates go up, people are slower to refinance, so business slows down. The next lending product is home loans. So they give mortgages. If you want to buy a house, you need a mortgage, go to SoFi if you want. Mortgage demand is extremely rate sensitive. Sure, I know a lot of people looking to move, but they're waiting on rates to come down. So therefore, SoFi is not going to be selling as many mortgages right now while rates are higher. But selling these mortgages, it captures a bigger part of the customer's financial life. A mortgage, that's a 30-year loan that you're going to be paying off for a while. So if SoFi is able to sell those, it keeps the customer in their ecosystem longer. All right, moving out of lending, SoFi does offer investment tools. So they are a brokerage with a very nice user-friendly app on mobile. So SoFi Invest gives members access to brokerage account for trading stocks, ETFs. They do offer fractional shares, IPO access. Actually, just today, they allocated shares for the SpaceX IPO to their members. Robo investing, options, retirement accounts. So everything you would expect from a brokerage, SoFi does offer that. And this is really good for SoFi because this is not a interest-based revenue stream for them. It's a fee-based revenue. So they get, payment from order flow, same as Robinhood does. And if people keep, they have a checking account and a brokerage account in SoFi, they're pretty much locked in there, at least for a long time. The next financial service I want to talk about is credit cards. So again, not a whole lot to dive into here. It's a credit card. Everyone knows what these are. It is a good revenue stream for SoFi, but again, they have to be careful of, credit default if people stop paying back their loan. Obviously, that's going to be bad for SoFi. So if the underwriting gets sloppy, it's a risk, but if they're smart about it, it's a good solid revenue stream. Next product is crypto. So I want to touch on two things here. First is you can open a crypto account to buy and trade crypto, very similar to their brokerage, but obviously it's crypto. Again, not a lot of details to add there, except they are also trying to incorporate stablecoins as a big part of the financial infrastructure. So this is separate from trading crypto. They already partnered with MasterCard to allow SoFi USD, which is their stablecoin. This will allow SoFi USD to be used for settlement across MasterCard's network. So what that means is rather than funds taking 2 to 3 days to settle like they currently do, you can have instant settlement because you are converting that fiat money to a stablecoin, sending that across network to a different merchant, and then they can convert it from the stablecoin back to US dollars or any currency, really. It can be global. So again, this just offers the crypto side of investing, trading, as well as the stablecoin settlement. Keeps that in the SoFi ecosystem. Another product they offer is insurance and estate planning. So they partner with other companies to find the right policy for the customer. So these are like add-on products that SoFi gets a small fee from helping you find the right policy through other insurance companies. They're add-on products that make the app feel more like a personal finance hub rather than just a bank account. So it's those nice to haves. If you're on the app, you're already ingrained into the ecosystem. If you need insurance, why not just open the app, go to this tab, and let SoFi help you find that. Okay, this next section, I think, is what separates SoFi from traditional banking, and that's their tech platform. So they recently acquired Galileo, which they will be renaming soon to SoFi Tech Solutions. And what Galileo is kind of the B2B side of SoFi. So it's business to business. They build the back-end infrastructure for other fintechs and banks to use. So what that means is they're able to launch financial products using APIs. They can help with card issuing to get a physical card or digital cards. They can help with payments, deposits. Even risk tools help the other banks determine risk on if they should be lending or not, and digital banking infrastructure as a whole. So an example is like if SoFi's consumer app is a restaurant, Galileo's like the equipment in the kitchen that they could sell to other restaurants. So this is interesting because it's not based on, lending. It's not based on consumers at all. It's strictly B2B. So this could be a huge growth opportunity for them long term. They still need to prove that, but they have the tools and the branding now to compete with other banking as a service companies. So as you can see, SoFi is very end-to-end in the consumer finance market, as well as also having that tech platform back end to expand in the B2B market. Seeing the CEO, Anthony Noto, buying millions of dollars worth of shares in the public market, so he's just going out and spending his money on these shares within the last few months, as well as making the claim that he sees this, one day growing to be $1 trillion company. That's pretty inspiring. It's good to see when the person that's kind of leading the charge has a lot of personal money on the line. So I don't think he's going to do anything except try to achieve that goal and grow his wealth. Also, we're at a time of inflation and potential rate hikes, which is not the best for SoFi. But if we see that reverse, we see inflation come down and maybe the chance of rate hikes come back or increase, then that's really good for SoFi, and I think shareholders are going to benefit from that. So that's it for SoFi. If you enjoyed these videos, please, again, subscribe. And also you can click the link here to see the video I did on Zeta Global and see what they do as a company. Thanks.